The loss of species scares me. The loss of their music breaks my heart. Each time a creature dies, a song dies. Every time a species goes extinct, its songs die forever. How will we live under the terrible silence of the empty sky? My nightmare is that before we lose the Earth's life-sustaining systems, we will lose its soul-sustaining system, the Earth's wild music, and all that will be left will be the immortal Dolly Parton and methane burps. Now, in the shadow of the sixth great extinction, a pandemic has spread a terrible new silence over the world. What does a nature writer do? What does she write? One ordinary temptation is to give up and become something other than a nature writer, turning to polemics, ethical treatises, signboards, and lots of nasty letters. But how can a writer leave the leafy world for the marble halls of politics? Another temptation is to stop writing altogether. If you don't have something nice to say, my mother insisted, then don't say anything at all. But how could she ever have anticipated the drenching grief in the stories now asking to be told? The temptation in ordinary times would be simply to lie by omission, continuing to tell only the happy stories, ignoring the difficult fact that the world is being assaulted and ravaged at exponentially accelerating rates. But we do not have the luxury of writing in ordinary times. I'm convinced that writers are therefore called to efforts that are out of the ordinary. We need the books that affect us like a disaster, that grieve us deeply, novelist Franz Kafka wrote. A book must be the axe for the frozen sea inside us. So, how exactly does a disaster affect us? We know the answer from experience, having been cruelly tutored by world wars, hurricanes, and a pandemic. Disasters call us to action. They call us to levels of compassion and courage we did not know we could reach. They smash us with sorrow and lift us with determination and moral resolve, the way a wave both smashes and lifts us in the same wild movement. Disaster transforms sorrowful love into a force strong enough to change the trajectory of history. I don't know if any book can do what Kafka asked. But, dear Mary Oliver, do you think this might now be how we do the work of loving a weary, reeling world? And don't we have to try? In Earth's wild music, celebrating and defending the songs of the natural world, I tell stories about the planet's imperiled music, one consequence of our civilization's having lost its way. Why music? Because I love it. I often tell audiences what Frederick Buechner wrote, that you will find your calling at the intersection of your deep love and the world's deep need. This is surely true for the nature writer, so I write from that place where my deep love for the world's music, the bird song, the frog song, the crickets and toads, the whales and wolves, even old hymns and Girl Scout songs, meets the terrible facts of onrushing extinction. My neighbor to the west was confused when I said I was writing about the extinction of Earth's wild music. Wait, she said, is that a thing? Dear God, yes. Extinction of the world's species is in fact a thing. And with the species will go their songs. To the extent that people don't know this, it is the responsibility of the nature writer to tell them, to bear witness, ring the church bell, trip the alarm, beat the warning drum, send the telegram, blow the whistle, call all hands on deck, and sometimes, weeping, to write the condolence letters. My neighbor to the north was worried.